What is up, you degenerates? We're back here once again. It's your boy TP3 Bets and What Up, Bro? Today, August 6th. It's Wednesday, 2025. It's not quite NFL Week 1, but we're about to give you all the way too early bets you need to be looking to take in NFL Week 1. I told y'all, man, I was going to get Bro back on here at some point. We finally got the man, the myth, the legend back on here. Bro, how we doing today, man?
Hey, we're living. We're halfway through the work week, and we're just counting down the days until NFL football season. I don't know about you, man, but I am done with the MLB.
Oh, no, bro. I'm right there with you completely where I'm just totally over it with the MLB. Like, yeah, man, this shit could not go over soon enough. But anyway, with that being said, guys, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. It helps in the algorithm. I'm going to link in all Bro's socials, including his VIP and stuff. So, look, if y'all aren't on board yet with anybody for football season, get on board with me. Get on board with Bro, two of the better handicappers you're going to find out there, guys. Nobody gives the write-ups like we do. Bro, where can the people find you on social media? It's at What Up Bro on X, TikTok, and Instagram, right?
It's at Bro Bets on X. Everything else is at What Up Bro.
Does somebody have What Up Bro on X?
I do. I got fucking scammed back in the day when I was making music. I was buying beats, and the guy sent me beats, locked me out of my account. The attachment was actually a link to get into my account, stole my account. So I had it. Now it's gone.
We're going to find him, and we are going to track him down, and we're going to get that shit back. Yeah, we can't have that shit. But yeah, guys, y'all follow me on TikTok, TP3 Sports, but TP3 Bets on X and on Instagram. We'll be live we're live every weekday at 5 o'clock, guys, giving out free picks and whatnot. I assume Bro will be on the show today as well, so I'm going to be stuck with this fucker for at least the next hour and a half. But guys, we got locks, y'all, for this upcoming NFL season. Bro, before we get into it real quick, is there anything specific that you look for betting on these games early in the season? Anything you're excited to bet on? Any words of wisdom you want to give the people before the season gets started up?
In terms of specific things that I'm looking for, a lot of things in the first couple of weeks that I'll look for are teams that either had good years last year, but based on whether it's injuries, transactions, just roster trends, they're not trending towards that direction this year. The example that comes to my mind, just off the top of my head, is the Minnesota Vikings. Those are types of teams that maybe you look to fade. The market is going to be based on last year's success, and you may be able to get some value there. And I also like to back teams that also had bad years last year, but surge toward the end of the year and have younger, players and starters coming back, like teams like the Panthers against the spread, the Raiders against the spread, those types of teams early against the spread. I think there's going to be tons of value there as well. What about you?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is do your own research before the season starts and take strong opinions on teams when the season starts out. And, after 2 or 3 weeks, be ready to completely give your entire opinion of a team a total 360 change, like the Commanders last year and the Titans. I lost so much fucking money backing the Titans to start the season off and lost so much money fading the Commanders. And once I switched those two positions, I had a great profitable NFL season. So I think, just things like that are easy. And, if you see something every single week, try to isolate your edge. Maybe you might think a team's going to hang 50 on the other team, but they might not cover a 20-point spread. Take them team total. Take their running back to go over rush yards if you think they can't stop the run. Try to isolate your edge. So I think those are the two biggest things as the season goes on and early in the season and whatnot. But let's get into it, man. I'm about to share my screen for everybody right here. We're going to go to beautiful DraftKings Sportsbook, man. We got to get a sportsbook sponsorship so we can make a little money off showing off a sportsbook on here. But we're going to go to Thursday Night Football to start the season off. I watched Thursday Night Football Week 1 with Bro last year. Fortunately, we won't be able to this year. But we had the Dallas Cowboys versus the Philadelphia Eagles. They're giving us 7 points with the Cowboys. Over under at 45.5. What are you looking at here, Bro? Anything?
Yeah, in this game, the immediate thing that I start is going to be the over. In terms of sides, I don't have full confidence that the Eagles are going to, even though they're, obviously defending champs, I don't know if they're going to cover the 7 early. I really, really like the over with the Cowboys offense being as electric as it is. Obviously, Dak is back, CeeDee Lamb. You have the addition of George Pickens. Really like what they're doing offensively. Defensively, they're terrible. Okay, they don't stop the run at all. You have the issues with Micah Parsons. How active has he been in training camp? A lot of questions in the secondary as well. For that reason, I like the over in the game. What about you?
Yeah, I'm definitely interested to see where the team totals come out in this game. If the Eagles are under 4 touchdowns, I might play that. If Dallas's team totals at like 20.5, that could also be a play for me, which I think it's going to be like 18.5 or 19.5, which would probably end up being my play here. But I actually like Dallas plus 7 points. I'm going to wait though until Micah Parsons like issue or conflict. I don't think the number is really going to move down to 6.5. If Micah Parsons signs new contract and is out there playing, but if he's not out there, I think it'll go up at least 1.5 to a point without him out there on the field, creating even more value on him. But I think Dallas is going to be sneaky good, man. I really think their offense is going to be pretty good. I'm looking to draft Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb in fantasy football. I think Javonte Williams and what they added in that running back room, they got Blue from Texas in there to catch passes for him. So I think Schottenheimer's going to get this offense going. Dak Prescott had his best season as an NFL pro in this Schottenheimer scheme. So I think that's why they brought him back in here. So I like Dallas to cover the number here. I just think it's too many points, and we can easily cover this one without winning it outright. So I'll take Dallas there. We got a Friday night special. I'm going to be at a fucking wedding rehearsal like bullshit with my girlfriend during this game. So Kansas City Chiefs versus the Chargers. She said I can watch it on my phone. That's all that matters. So we got the Chiefs -3 here, over under at 45.5. This one's going to be in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Anything you like here, bro?
No, yeah, I mean, I think we take turns. Why don't you tell the people what you like in this game?
Okay, so I don't have the trend pulled up in front of me. But Patrick Mahomes as a 3-point favorite or all the way down to an underdog is a god against the spread. I think he's like, I want to say it's like almost 80%, if not higher than that, against the spread. So I'll probably take Kansas City -3, and I'm even going to look at the over. I don't know. I know you remember this game last year. We had the SoBet party for this with the Barstool Bar. And during this game last year, man, it was like a weird field. It was like the field was getting torn up, and these teams were just marching up and down the field, play after play after play. It was a high-scoring shootout. So I think 45.5 is way too low, and I think this game will fly over the total, and this field will probably be the same way. Plus, Rashee Rice is back. Kansas City's going to have another dynamic in their offense.
Yeah, I definitely like where you're going in terms of Mahomes and being that the dog or a 3-point favorite or less. I think it's a complete overreaction that I'm getting boat raced in the Super Bowl. And like, if I can keep it at 3 and I don't have that hook, I really like that -3, or even the money line is not bad at -155. I think I'm contrary to what you say. I'm not saying that you're wrong and I might be wrong. I just kind of like the under in this game, just from an overall my first view of it. Like, the Chargers are going to obviously have more or less a run-first offense with short dink and dunk passing with Herbert. That's kind of what Harbaugh has established. They didn't do anything in the wide receiver room. The Chiefs, yes, they did get Rashee Rice back, but they were not the same offensive unit last year. Travis Kelce is a step and a half slow. So I would be interested to see what this number actually ends up at when we get closer to kickoff. Right now, I would lean under. This number might crawl down to like 43, 43.5, 44, one of those key numbers. Then shit gets sticky. But right now at 45.5, I would take the under. We go to my hometown. Sunday, first game on Sunday, listed here. We got the Bengals. We got the Browns. And Bengals are only laying 5.5 to the Browns. They're in Cleveland on the lake. T1 first with the last one. We'll tee this one off here. I'm here to tell you, I can't give an official play on this until I know who's the starting quarterback for the Browns. If they put out Flacco and he's starting, he's just a plug-and-play quarterback. You saw the Browns are super competitive when they had Jameis Winston in there. He was putting them up and down the field. I think it's the same Cleveland Browns team, more or less. I don't think they have enough to win a lot of games this year, nor do I think they have enough to win this game. But I could see them covering and keeping it close against Cincinnati, a division rival where they normally play pretty tough. They actually have a lot of times they have the edge when it comes to the season head-to-heads. So I would lean Cleveland. But what do you say, T?
Yeah, so side would be a no play for me. So there's a huge trend. It's over 80% on home division underdogs in week one covering and winning outright. The cover rate, I think, is over 80%. The win outright, I think, is in like the low 70s, maybe high 60 percentile. It's an insane trend since like 2011. It just absolutely prints money, and I use it every single year in week one. This game falls into that. I do think, though, like Cincinnati's week one, remember, Cincinnati's played like shit the last couple of years in week 1, 2, and 3. But that's been well documented. I listened to a ton of preseason football previews, and they've talked about it at length. And Zach Taylor is now playing his starters in the preseason, and he literally said at the podium yesterday, I saw it on SportsCenter, he said, we can't afford to start another season out slow. Our starters will be playing week one of the preseason. I like those signs from Cincinnati. Therefore, that would keep me away from that. That's strong enough. Like this feels like a max motivational spot week one, but I still got to respect that underdog spot and stuff here for the Browns. So stay away from that side. I like the under 44.5 though. I think a lot of people are just ragging on this defense because Trace Hendrickson's holding out. Shamar Stewart held out as well, even though they finally took care of him. But they changed the defensive coordinator. They fired the old coordinator, Big Lou. You bring in Al Golden from Notre Dame, and Al Golden's system is supposed to put guys like I believe it's Geno Stone and some of the other secondary guys in like the systems where they play better and like the type of systems they draft them from in college in the secondary. So I mean, it's obvious. Like, I feel like everybody overreacts to teams that like defensive units were bad and stuff the year before. A lot of defensive stuff is luck, and a lot of it is year to year. Like, I think Cincinnati clearly knew their defense was the weak point because they had one of the best offenses in the NFL. So I like the under early in this game. Like you said, Cleveland's going to be playing some sort of inexperienced quarterback here, Joe Flacco. They're not going to want to put the game on their shoulders. They're going to try to ground and pound this game out. And Cleveland has a stout defense, so under for me.
I like it. It.
We skipped one. We got the Giants versus the Commanders, another divisional game. Commanders -7 at home. The total in this game is 45.5. I'll go first on this one real quick. I would play the under, or actually starting out the under. I'd play the Commanders +7, or not Commanders. What am I saying? Third time's the charm here. I would take the Giants +7 here in this game. You look at this Giants roster, they might have the best defensive line in all of the NFL. You have Dexter Lawrence, obviously, who's a fucking beast in the middle. Then you have Kayvon Thibodeau, Brian Burns, and newly drafted Abdul Carter up front. So you're going to be able to rotate pass rushers. Washington had a lot of fourth down luck. They were like 80% on fourth down. That's not really repeatable, but I will say, I think if you have a running quarterback like Jaden Daniels, Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, guys like that, you're always going to have great fourth down conversion numbers. So I think part of it is repeatable, but not an 80% clip. So with all that being said here, I think there's value on buying this divisional dog here. I mean, they have weapons on offense: Tyron Tracy, Malik Neighbors, Cam Skataboo. I like this offense, so I'll take the +7 here in this game.
Okay, yeah, I don't hate that at all. And I think my DraftKings, I have DraftKings up behind me, or behind my screen here. It's localized. I'm from Cleveland, so I think I just had the Browns up at the top. That's my fault there. Yeah, in this Giants-Commanders game, I definitely like the look of Giants +7, and I think honestly, like as public bettors pour in, you might even be able to get a hook out of that. I really like the under for a lot of the things that you said. Mm-hmm. Giants obviously no Daniel Jones anymore. They've moved on, completely different regime. They're going to be running the ball. They have Scatabo. Obviously, you saw what they did with Neighbors. I still think they're limited with weapons on the outside. When you look at Washington, they had a ton of problems with their offensive line last year. Jaden Daniels basically saved that offense by being able to scramble and make things happen and move around the pocket. And like you said, those heroic plays are so fun to watch, and they're electric. And in the moment, they're great, but they're just very hard to sustain. They're unsustainable. So I would lean the under 45.5. Again, another divisional game. A lot of times you see divisional games go under. But I also like the Giants. We go to the next game and make sure we're on the same page here. It would be
Steelers, Jets.
Yes, it's Steelers, Jets. All right, we should be on the same page for the rest of the way here. Um, T, we have the Jets, who Aaron Rodgers played for, and the Steelers, who Aaron Rodgers now plays for. I think it's fun when I tee it up, and then you give the answer, and you tee it up, and I give the answer. So you're just going to go first twice in a row here. We have Steelers, Jets. T, what do you got?
Yeah, so this is like the reverse revenge game. Justin Fields goes against the Steelers, Rodgers against the Jets, like you said. So there's that angle involved. Dude, I kind of like the over in this game, 38.5. I don't think I'll actually end up playing this game, but 38.5, it's gross. But here's the thing. The new NFL rules, if you kick the ball into the end zone now and it touches in the end zone, that comes out to the 35 instead of the 30 like last year. So they're really trying to de-incentivize that. I think with that and the field being cut in half, 38.5 is a little bit too low. The Jets defense was actually ass last year. And while the Steelers do pride themselves on the defensive end of things, I think Justin Fields is the kind of quarterback who could make a big-time leap if he even became 50% more accurate throwing intermediate balls. He clearly has the stuff to throw a deep ball. He can clearly run the football. I mean, this feels like the Jets have been planning for this game all season long. I kind of like the over here, and I like the Jets as the home dog. What about you?
Yeah. My opinion is just a little bit different in this game, and it may be skewed a little bit because of how much I've experienced the Tomlin experience. Typically for me, it has not been a great experience as a Browns fan. So I think I like the Steelers. I'd probably play them on the money line if I could get them where they're at right now at minus 155. There's just something to be said about a winning culture. And until the Jets can prove that they're not the laughing stock of the NFL, like last year, I mean, I don't want to say they're the laughing stock of the NFL, but for what they've had and what they've done, obviously there's a lot to be left desired. So I would go Pittsburgh early. Obviously, I'm right there with you. Like if I'm looking at this slate, this isn't a game that I'm dying to bet. It's definitely a game I'm intrigued by, though, to see the result going forward.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you on that. Probably not a game I'll end up playing, but definitely an interesting one nonetheless. Next up, we have my Atlanta Falcons catching 2.5 points against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Total of 48.5, one of the highest totals on the board to start the season out. Bro, what you like here?
This one just feels so trappy. It just feels like I want to take Atlanta at home as small marginal dogs. That said, I do really like the Buccaneers to win the division. I think if there's any chance for the Falcons to maybe get on the Buccaneers, it would be, right here early. I don't know. This one's tough, man. I'm gonna just say Falcons on the money line, but it's more so because I know those are your boys, and I'm trying to give you a little love. What do you got? What do you got for me, T?
Yeah, man. Falcons money line plus 2.5, however you want to take it. Week 1 home divisional underdogs is active here in this game. And honestly, I think look at the NFL. Everyone wants to go in and say, oh, this team made the playoff last year, they're going to do it again. It's almost never the same group of teams that makes the playoff the year before make it the next year. I think it's pretty easy to say the Eagles will make the playoffs again. I think it's pretty easy to say some of the better teams like the Rams will make the playoffs once again. But the Buccaneers, I think, are one of the easiest teams to miss the playoffs. Let's not forget, they were literally a game-winning drive against the Panthers away from potentially missing the playoffs last year. So took a last-minute drive to even get them in the playoffs. I think the Falcons win the division. Give me the Falcons plus 2.5 here. This will probably be one of my biggest bets of the entire week, and it's not a biased play at all.
Oh, wow. A big old bet.
Oh, yeah. Next one up here, Arizona Cardinals catching 5.5, laying 5.5 against the New Orleans Saints, total at 42.5. What you like here, bro?
Yeah, when I was looking at this earlier, my thought process was one of two things. One, seeing a 5.5, like it's a really obscure number. You only saw it in one other game so far, and that's the Browns game. And, that's kind of like a lower total as well. Seeing this 5.5 makes me really, really wonder, like, why is Vegas not confident enough to lay a touchdown? Maybe they don't think there's a lot of scoring going on. As I look at this, we don't have the number in front of me, but I'm going to look to take either the Cardinals on the spread or the Saints team total under. I think the Saints are going to be atrocious this year. I think Cardinals are going to be the Cardinals. They're going to be competitive. They're going to, make some plays. They're going to be fun to watch. At the end of the day, you have a knucklehead at quarterback that makes mistakes that you can't really trust. And that's what you're going to get from the Cardinals. But I think Saints are not going to score many points in this game. And I'd probably lean either the under or Saints team total under. What about you?
Ooh, give me the 5.5 here with the Cardinals, and I'm probably willing to play the Cardinals in like a teaser or something like that. I'll probably tease Denver and Arizona together. I love playing against rookie quarterbacks making their first career start. Tyler Shuck sucks dick. Spencer Rattler sucks dick. Either one of them that starts for them is going to be terrible. Arizona, dude, is a sneaky team. I think Arizona will make the playoffs. I think Kyler Murray is very underrated. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to have a breakout season. Trey McBride is him. They have a deep running back room. The defense is really, really slept on. They have a nice defense, I think, and I think they're going to be able to come in here and beat the shit out of the Saints. I think if they played this game again in week 1 and week 17 or 18, I think the spread here would be like 10.5. So I'll gladly take Arizona here in this game.
Okay. We love it. So we just finished up the Saints, Cardinals. We got Panthers, Jags. T, what do you have here?
Yeah, this is one of the hardest games to play. Typically, historically, in week 1 or early in the season, teams visiting Florida teams don't play well. It's going to be hot as piss in Florida for this game. Good thing is it's very hot in Charlotte as well. I think the +3 at the Panthers here is very enticing. I think the Panthers defense might be sneaky good actually this year. Derek Brown, their defensive tackle in the middle from Auburn, is a monster. And once he went down, they couldn't stop the run at all. They used all their money to stabilize themselves versus the run. They added Ted McMillan at wide receiver. I would lean Carolina +3. This game probably won't end up being a play. I think the number's pretty correct here, but at forced play, it would definitely be Carolina here. I don't like Trevor Lawrence. I know the Jags obviously retooled their offense a little bit. Brian Thomas Jr. is him, but give me Carolina.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, man. Obviously the Jaguars have the name value with Trevor Lawrence. They have the star power and everything like that, but the Panthers made some noise at the end of the season. They were covering, they were playing well, they were trending. Now you have another year into the same system for Bryce Young. You have a lot of these guys that are developing, like you said, young defense. I wouldn't play this game, but if you said, if I had to, I would take the Panthers. But just give it to me on the money line. The Jaguars always blow it late. Give me the money line.
Oh wow, okay, bro, on the money line there. Next up, we got LV Raiders taking on the New England Patriots. The spread here is 3, with the Raiders is the dog here. Over under sit at 42.5. A lot of people are high on the Pats coming this season. What do you think?
It's just a complete overreaction to me. The Raiders, they made some nice moves, some nice transactions. Like, I do think. Wait, who do they overpay for quarterback? They have a quarterback that they overpay.
Geno Smith.
Yeah, they did overpay for Geno Smith. I will say that, but with Geno Smith, you know what you're gonna get. He's gonna get you points. He's gonna get the ball up and down the field. You obviously have Genty. You have that defensive line that's nasty with Crosby and those boys. Like, I understand everyone's high on the Patriots, but I can only take the Raiders here. What about you, T?
Dude, I like Geno Smith here. He's much better as an underdog against the spread than he is as a favorite, I know. And I think the Raiders being dogs here is pretty disrespectful. While New England has added a lot to their team, they had Vrabel in here as a new head coach. I don't think they're quite ready yet. Brock Bowers, Genty, what's his face? Jacoby Myers. They got a nice little offense in here with Geno. I think Geno can cook up against them, and I like Geno Smith and the Patriots too, or in the Raiders to get it done over the Patriots here, but I'd take the 3.
Yeah. All right. Nice. We're on the same side there. Okay. Now we got in our last 1 p.m. game, we have the Finns, we have the Colts. Who you got?
Over 45.5 here would have to be the play. I don't trust the Dolphins defense at all. I definitely think that Tua, Tyreek Hill are going to have I think Tyreek Hill is going to have a bounce back year, honestly. Jalen Waddle as well. And same thing with Tua. I think this whole team can definitely have a bounce back season. I like a lot of the things Dolphins are doing. Now, I'm not saying they're a playoff team or anything like that, but I think they can put up points on the flip side of things. The Colts are kind of loaded. Michael Pittman Jr., A.D. Mitchell, Josh Downs. You got Jonathan Taylor in the backfield. Yeah, sure, you don't know who's going to be playing quarterback just yet, but They got an offensive mastermind and head coach. I think they win. I think that they can win this game, but I like the over 45.5.
Yeah, I do like the over. Looking at this line where it is right now, it's almost like, dude, you have to take the Colts. You have to take the Colts. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. Like, the Colts, there are so many unknowns, but yet they're listed as the favorite here. With Miami, it's kind of the same story every year. How many games are we going to get to the season? God, please. I hope it's the full season. On record, you heard me say it. But how many games are we going to get in before Tua takes a hard hit? Before we're worried about a quarterback issue? Before we're worried about Tyreek Hill on the hamstring? Now they have no one to throw to. It's the same story with the Dolphins. I think the Colts are trending in the right direction. I would probably take the Colts on the money line at home.
Okay, I definitely would. I would agree with you on that pick. Next up, we got Titans and Cam Ward making his first career NFL start versus Bo Nix and the Broncos. 7.5-point favorites here for Denver. Over under at 41.5. You like anything, bro?
Yeah, I would slam the under. Like this, like, obviously we're not matching this out. But when I scrolled through, I was like, oh shit, this is too perfect. I really, really like the under in this game. Obviously, you have Cam Ward, first game out. I think he's going to be a lot better than people are giving him credit for. And this is one of the least talked about first overall draft picks we've ever had, like literally ever. I think he's going to be really good. But in the first game, with a very limited offensive unit, and then on the other side of the ball with Denver, I don't think we're going to see a lot of points out of them either. Tennessee's defense has been pretty good, known to be good, known to stop the run, known to keep things in front of them. I kind of like the under 41.5. It's a low total, but I think it's low for a reason. I'd probably take the under there. What about you, T?
Yeah, I'd take Denver minus 7.5 or take them in a teaser with Arizona here. I just think that it's a tough ask for Cam Ward to go on the road against that Denver defense in week one. I really do think Cam Ward might end up being all right, but I'm not that big of. I think he's going to be a very average player in the NFL. So I'm not going to go too heavy in one direction on him here. So I think this is the perfect game for it to be like a tight type game or not to be a tight type game, but for him to come out and not do much here and just kind of play conservative. So I like Denver to handle business here.
Okay, I like it. Wow, 7.5, a lot of points, but hey, I like it. I do. San Francisco Seahawks. We got a new quarterback in Seattle with Sam Darnold. What do you have here, T?
Ooh, the 49ers and Seahawks. I believe the 49ers always beat the Seahawks. I could be wrong here, but this division kind of goes back and forth with owning each other. I'm not a Sam Darnold guy, never have been, never will be. I think San Francisco, they were one of the most injured teams in the league. They're very unlucky last year. Deebo Samuel out the door. They pay Brock Purdy the big bucks. Christian McCaffrey going to be back. I like San Francisco here minus 1.5 as road favorites, even though it goes against divisional home underdogs. I would take San Francisco in this game.
Oh, yeah, dude. 100%. I'm right there with you. I totally agree. I would just take them on the money line. I want them to win, even if it's by a field goal, a missed extra point, something like that. I think this line is so disrespectful, bro. It's so disrespectful. We have no idea what we're going to get out of Sam Darnold. It's the first time seeing him in this system. Seahawks lose Metcalf. They didn't really gain a whole lot in the wide receiver room to replace him. Obviously, yeah, they still have Kenneth Walker. They're going to be running the ball a significant amount, but San Francisco's defense is really, really good, and they get pressure on the quarterback. And we've seen time and time again what happens when Sam Darnold gets pressured. It's turnovers. So I really do love the play, T. Niners on the money line would be for me.
Let's go.
What do we got here? We got the Lions. We got the Packers in an NFC North showdown. T, what do you got here?
Give me the Lions plus the points here in this game. Look, a lot of people are down on the Lions because they lost their coordinators. Yeah, it's tough losing both your coordinators, but at the same time, their entire defense literally died at one point last season, and they finished the season with no defensive players left. Sure, they lost their coordinators. I think they'll be fine, though. They still got Dan Gamble in there. They still got all the boys in there. I think if anything, the Lions are going to come out with a chip on their shoulder and something to prove. They had the best record in the league, and they got bounced out of the playoffs in the second round. One game, they didn't even get one playoff win. I think they're pissed off about that and disappointed about how the season ended. I think they come out here and take it out on the Packers. Well, Jordan Love's been good. He struggled both games against them last season. Josh Jacobs did most of the work on the ground for him. I think the Packers will have a good season. I think both these teams make the playoffs, but I like the Lions to pull off the upset here on the road in week 1.
Yeah, I do like that look. I also like the over. I think this is going to be the highest scoring matchup on the board. I think it might be the highest total. Oh, no. Sunday Night Football is. But, or is that Monday Night Football? Sunday Night Football is the highest total on the board. But second highest would be the Lions Packers. I think there's going to be some pretty some fireworks going on. High scoring.
We love that. Next up, we got the Houston Texans taking on the LA Rams. The Rams 3-point home favorites. Total in this game 45.5. What do you like here?
This is one of those ones that I don't know if I would play with all the other games on the board and like my feel for things right now. But obviously things can change as we go further in the season. I am not at all impressed by the Texans. Obviously, they lose Stephon Diggs. They don't have Tank Dell. Now it's Nico Collins basically solo in the wide receiver room. Yes, you have C.J. Stroud, but he's shown again that he has a difficult time under pressure. The Rams have always had a good defensive front. McVay always gets things done. I think this is going to be one of those prototypical ride into the sunset years for legacy quarterback like Stafford. Think they're going to play well here today. I can only take the Rams. If you're getting the number at -155, I'm fine with laying that on the money line. But if you like the spread -3, that's fine too. What do you say, T?
Yeah, I like the under 45.5 here. So Stafford's obviously battling back injuries right now in training camp. I'm still very high on the Rams this season, but their defense, they had the youngest defense in the league, and their defense really emerged, including my boy Jared Verse out of Florida State as rookie defensive player of the year. Texans on the flip side of things, we know they have a very nasty defense as well. So I like the Texans Rams to go under the total here. I think this will be a defensive, try to run the ball type game. And I also like Nico Collins' longest reception over whatever the number is because it's the infinite money glitch.
That is right. You were playing that shit religiously week after week after week last year, and it was cashing. Next, we have Sunday Night Football. One of the more fun matchups to watch every year in the AFC. We have Lamar Jackson and Baltimore Ravens taking on Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. What do you got, T?
Yeah, this is the revenge game of revenge games. The Ravens, Mark Andrews drops the game-winning pass. They lose to the Bills and go down in embarrassing fashion in the playoffs. Ravens revenge game. I'll take them +1.5. And you said it's the highest total of the entire week. I'll go under 51.5. Do you think they're going to let the highest total of the week in primetime go over? Not so fast, my friend. Take the under.
Yep, primetime unders are still a thing, man. They're still a thing. They're still alive and well. I definitely don't hate that with the largest total on the board. I do see this a different way. I'm a huge Josh Allen fan, though, and I don't like Lamar Jackson, so it might be a little bit biased. I just think this is Josh Allen's year. I think this is Josh Allen's year to get it done. I really hope it's not Baltimore's year. I cannot stand the team. I can't stand anything about Baltimore.
Biased bro.
It just might be. It might be. I don't have a lot of analysis behind this. Other than I don't really like the Ravens. I don't think Lamar Jackson's a complete quarterback. You see it year after year. He won the MVP, and then Josh Allen showed him why he should have been the MVP. So I would lean Buffalo on the money line, but honestly, the first week of the season, especially if the lines stay where they're at with the total at where it's at, key number at 52, just under that key number, and then obviously basically pick them here. I might just watch this game as a fan. I know like my subscribers will hate it, but this might be one where I just kick back and say, hey, week 1, football's back. I'm so fucking excited.
Nah, I already know Bro's going to launch units. We all know Bro will. Come on, man. I know you're going to launch units.
Josh Allen, anytime touchdown.
There we go. Last game of the weekend, Monday Night Football, the Minnesota Vikings versus the Chicago Bears. The Bears catching 1.5 points at the crib. over under here at 43.5. What are you thinking here?
This has to be an under for me. This has to be an under for me. And I'd probably take the Bears. But this is an under for me all the way. Caleb Williams has not looked good in training camp. Again, Caleb Williams didn't do anything to impress me last year. The Bears' offensive line still question marks all over the place. The Vikings always have a good defensive line. They have great defensive line coach. They have J.J. McCarthy, who obviously missed a lot of, I think, the whole season, actually, last year with the ACL. I don't think either of these teams are going to be any fucking good. These are the bottom dwellers of the NFC North, and I would probably take the under. But huge asterisks. If Sunday Night Football goes under, do not take the under on Monday Night Football. Do not take the under on Monday Night Football. Just remember that. T, what about you?
Under 43.5 would have to be the play here. I don't love the number, though, because this is more of an over number from what I've seen. 43.5 plays the mental game with you where you're getting 7 touchdowns. But, Ben Johnson comes in here as offensive coordinator for the Chicago Bears, so you got to think they'll tick up some on offense. You draft Luther Burden, so you kind of got a little loaded receiving core now. DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, and Burden. That's pretty fucking solid. You got the tight end they drafted. I'm drawing a blank on his name. Colston Lublin. They got him in there, and they got Cole Kmet. So, they're loaded with weapons, man. There's no excuse for this offense not to hum at this point. I think J.J. McCarthy is going to be trash. I would go under 43.5 in this game. This game will probably be actually the hardest game for me to bet all weekend. I don't know why the hell they made this game Monday Night Football. It's fucking stupid, but whatever. They should have made Rams and Texans Monday Night Football. But anyway, bro, we're excited for week 1. It should be fucking awesome, man. We'll get on here when we actually are close to the season. Well, actually, we'll get on here the week of and do another one, and we'll see how much our picks have changed from last time, what all we're looking at. You got any final words for the people, bro, before we get on out of here?
No, just, stay strong through the MLB season. And the NFL is right around the corner. Can't wait.
Yeah, guys, stay strong. Hopefully we'll have some NFL preseason bets this weekend, and that's about it. Appreciate y'all. We'll talk to y'all. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button, man. If you stayed this long and you haven't hit it, what the fuck are you doing?